guess welcome back. We just started with, huh?
Yeah.
Welcome back to
Episode 2
of Dating Disasters with Drinks.
Yeah.
I'm Jim Rent,
I'm Nick.
and today we have a special guest, our boy Greg, who's coming in from Charlotte just for this. That's the only reason he's here.
That's it?
It's not.
Seriously?
No other
It's not.
reason.
It's not. Yeah, it's not like we're old friends from high school or anything.
No.
No, I love the oven heat of Arizona.
Yes, everybody loves it here. It's a dry,
Perfect.
it's a dry heat coming from Charlotte. Like,
That's right. It's crisp and fresh.
yeah, it's so much nicer. Jesus Christ. Yeah, FYI, we're in Arizona, folks.
Yeah.
Yeah, don't stalk us.
It's so hot and dry. You walk outside and instantly get a bloody nose and a sunburn.
Yes, in December.
2 for 1.
Right?
Well, that's right.
Gosh.
So I'm Jim Rent, like I said, and this is our podcast with Nick. You can follow me on Instagram and find me on Patreon and montanaavenue.com. So my page for my book that I've been putting together.
Yo.
So, yep. So what?
This is,
Do we want to just get right into it?
Yeah.
We got 3 stories today, so they're going to be good.
yeah.
So last week we ended with rules of dating. Oh, what are we drinking before we get there? Like, what's your drink today? What are you
Oh,
drinking?
yeah, so Corona Extra, there's your advertisement. And I didn't think they came in pints, so that was a surprise.
Well, welcome
And
to Arizona because we drink here.
It's beautiful,
Yeah, Gary's
right?
finding out because
I'm
we
like,
drink here.
I don't think I could do a 40, but I don't think I could do just a regular. So this is a perfect in between.
Yeah.
It's the Goldilocks of Corona.
corn.
Corn.
Yeah, that too.
Sorry,
Yeah.
I'm from the south.
Yeah,
Corn,
well,
okay?
I am going European with the Action Hond.
Yeah.
The Belgian style, yeah.
That's
Guter
And I have the Hefeweizen.
The Hefeweizen, we're going very European from the motherland. And the food fun in the pure.
And Wiener Schnitzel.
It's a horse. All right. So
Oh, gosh.
last week we ended with dating tips and dating rules. And one of the big rules that everybody should follow is that when you meet somebody on a first date, you should never actually meet like in a private place or a house. And that goes for guys too, like women
Right.
especially. Like there's weirdos out there.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so you want to meet somewhere public, somewhere you both can be, and it's not like it's right on top. You know, you don't know who you're gonna find in like a dark alley is the address they
Right.
give you. You know,
Yeah,
like,
seriously.
So for this story, I didn't follow that rule at all.
Oh,
so
gosh.
this is another dating site. So my stories are all going to base around Tinder, OkCupid, and POF. Yeah, all of them are cesspools.
Those are the best.
Yeah, those are, wow, guaranteed for a good time in none of the right kind of ways. So it was POF and a very lovely lady. We will call her the nurse. There's more to that name on that nurse part, but she was a nurse.
For after she hospitalizes it.
Oh,
Right.
oh, you would think. Oh, yeah. We'll find out later why she was revoked as a nurse and couldn't work any longer as a nurse.
Oh, my gosh.
Yes. Oh, yes.
Something
Your
tells me you didn't
stories.
play doctor with her.
No.
I don't think.
Anyway, we'll get there. We'll get to the story. So, she was hot, for the record. Like, she was attractive. So, met on POF and started chatting. And I think I had been in Indiana. This is when I first moved to Indiana. And this was like the first week I'm in Indiana. And, I put on my dating profile, new to town, really don't know anybody, like to meet, hang out, see where things go, but not looking to immediately get married, open to
Right.
anything.
Right.
So I met this nurse. She was very sweet, very cute on the messages. I remember her profile was something like haters gotta walk or something like that. It was losers keep walking, keep stepping or something like that. And I still to this day don't understand what it meant, but I'm like, whatever. And but she was very articulate in the messages and very intelligent and wasn't anything that made me feel weird or as I have this really bad thing about where somebody puts Y, actually the letter Y, instead of just spell it out. It's a pet peeve.
Right.
Like, just spell out the damn
Seriously.
word. Like, it's okay. You have a second and a half to type that.
The
Like,
millennials problem.
oh, God, that drives me up the wall. It's my biggest pet peeve with texting.
Yeah.
Aside from texting itself, because I prefer a phone call.
Right.
Yeah, so it makes it even worse. During the texting and the messages, it was really, this person I was texting was sweet, very cool, very cute, flirty, and fun. And, after a few days, you move to the next stage, which is always the phone call. Like,
Right.
want to make sure it's actually a woman on the other line, because
Yeah.
we've all run into, like, hi, this is Angela.
Yes.
Yeah, you don't want
Amanda.
Amanda. You can call me Cat. Yeah, that's what we all know. So I met, I called her up, and she had this, it was either, I thought it was the phone, because during the conversation, we'd be talking, and it would just cut out.
Mhm.
And, this is what, 7, 8 years ago? And I thought it was my cell phone
It's like a
service.
common thing.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
it's right when everything stopped being. You have to put in area codes, like it mattered, like long distance
Right.
no longer existed. So you don't know. And I'd be talking to her, and she'd be like, "Yeah, so I really like going out to the restaurant and hanging out." And I'd be like, I would stop and I'd look at my phone, like, "What the hell is that? Am I roaming? Like, what is this?" And it was consistent, and it was always differently timed. And I really did think it was my phone.
Yeah.
So, I'm getting through the conversation, no big deal, and so the time comes. I'm like, "Hey, let's go on a date." She's
Right.
like, "Oh, I know this great Greek restaurant. You'd love
Perfect.
it." Yeah, I'm like, "Perfect, fantastic." And she's like, "Okay, I will meet you there at like 7:00. Cool. So I just
Yeah.
stay at the office because it was closer to the restaurant from where I worked than where my apartment was.
Yeah.
So I'm getting close. It's getting time to go. Like 6:30 rolls around. I'm starting to pack it up, and I get a text message from her that says, "Hey, I can't find my keys. Let's meet at 7:30." All right, cool. Like, I get it.
Okay.
We've all lost our keys. No big deal.
Yeah.
So about 15, 20 minutes later, I get another text message. "My car's dead. Can you come pick me up instead?" Like,
Alert.
in
So
hindsight,
Alert.
yeah, exactly.
we're waving a red flag.
Yeah,
here.
yeah, that's-
Like-
In my head, I'm thinking, oh, this person can't be weird. I've talked to her, message, like, it's be perfectly fine.
It's fine.
It's probably, probably a car issue. It is freezing out there. You never know. Something froze. It's Indiana,
Right.
And of course, remember, I've only been here a week, so I don't know the area at all.
Ooh.
And I'm at this, first of all, I'm at this office by myself because it's late. It's like a Friday night, so everybody's already gone.
Yeah.
I'm just hanging out because I meet somebody.
Right.
So she gives me the address, and I put it in, my phone. I'm like, oh, it's like 15, 20 minutes away. Okay, cool. I'll be over there. Mind you, I don't know that rule yet. I haven't actually learned why that's a rule. In fact, I don't even know most of the rules. But I learned why this is a big one. So where she sent me is the ghetto. And I don't
Capital G.
and I don't mean like oh man, those houses are kind of run down. Like no, there were babies on the side of the sidewalk at 2 a.m. kind
Selling crack.
of yes,
Oh,
selling
gosh.
crack. Like it is the ghetto. Like I am gonna get shot.
Oh,
And I, this might be a little racist, but the whole time I'm thinking like she didn't sound ghetto. Like she sounded really articulate. Like.
right.
And I'm like, what the hell? Like, okay, this is not where I think I'm going to pick up somebody who works in the hospital,
Right.
which is nowhere near the hospital. Like, I remember, like, sitting in that parking lot, like, where is the hospital from here? And not only is she not a nurse, she was an administrator. So she had worked out beyond that at some point.
Oh, jeez.
But she wasn't allowed near a hospital anymore. We'll find out why here in a minute.
Oh my gosh.
So I pull up into this parking lot, and oh yeah, I'm like, I'm gonna get robbed, I'm gonna get carjacked. I never should have agreed to come out here. What the hell was I thinking?
Oh gosh.
And I text her, I'm like, hey, I'm in the parking lot. Come jack me if that was the time, or wait till I can get out of here. Like, I promise, I even park like towards the street. Like somebody comes running at me, I'm driving out.
I'm out.
Like I don't care. Like it's. And I'm a white guy. Like I'm white through and through. Like I'm not gonna pretend like I'm tough. Like I'm not. Like,
Right.
like don't let these muscles fool you. Like no.
Danger, we're gone.
Yeah, dude, I will-
Call my lawyer.
Yes. I'm looking for the nearest Barnes and Noble at this point. Like, I'm just GPSing that. That's the best way to get close to all the white people.
Oh my god.
It's true. So
we can say that because it's us.
yeah, we're white.
Right.
Yeah.
So I know it's pretty bad.
That was good.
So I get a message, okay, coming down, and sure enough, the girl actually does come down from a set of stairs, and I'm like, oh my god, okay, she's real.
She's a girl.
All right, maybe I'm not gonna get carjacked.
It's not ghetto catfish.
You know, but I did notice that she was slipping a little bit. And this is Indiana, and this is January, so it's cold, so it's
Right.
possibly it's snowy or
Right.
ice. And I jump out and I open the door for her and I help her in, and that's at the moment like I realize like it's not really icy. She can't stand up straight. And I was like, okay, all right, you know, is she drunk?
Right.
Couldn't smell any alcohol because she gave me a hug. You always do that, you know, the preliminary hug. Hey, it's nice to meet you. It's so good to
Right.
really finally meet you. You know, you do that thing.
Alcohol profiling.
Yeah, the obligatory hug.
No.
That's what it is. The obligatory hug. You always have to do that on a first date. And the obligatory hug at the end. Good seeing you.
That's right.
Yeah. It's
Thanks is great.
That's
3 pats on the back.
that's
Yeah,
right. Yeah,
exactly.
It's a
2.
signal.
Yeah, I'm not going to call you back.
Exactly right.
Yeah.
1 is get out of my car. So get the hug. Don't smell any alcohol, but she is acting like I even remember her swaying a little bit. And I'm like, okay, whatever. All right, no big deal. Get in the truck and as I'm realizing as we're driving, she's like, oh, you don't need GPS. I know the way. I'll tell you how to go. I'm like, okay, cool. So as we're driving, she'd be talking and she'd be like, yeah, you know, I moved out here when I was 8 and that was a turn you were supposed to take.
Yeah.
I'm like,
What?
so those pauses weren't my phone. Verizon was hooking me up. It was her. That's how she talked.
Oh.
Oh.
It was this weird disconnect where she would be in the middle of a conversation, stop, and then keep going with that conversation without realizing there's a second or two lapse.
Yeah.
It's like talking to somebody who's, you know, like recircuiting every time or rebooting half the
Right.
time.
Wow.
And that was a whole conversation. And she was like, yeah, I started smoking when I was 16 and really the whole conversation. And I got in close. I was like, do you mean to do that? And I don't know if she took it as, oh, kiss you, okay. And we started making out in my truck. Like we haven't even gotten to the restaurant yet.
Whoa.
So
All right.
yeah, I mean, it wasn't a bad kiss. It wasn't like last week. It was a decent kiss. But the first thing I remember thinking is, I don't taste alcohol.
Yeah.
Like she's not hiding it with gum. Like what is up with her?
Huh.
Like maybe she just, you know, maybe she's got a disability.
Maybe.
Maybe. So the more we get into this drive, the more I'm realizing this chick is really weird and handsy. Yes, like her hands were exploring things. I'm like, let's just get to the restaurant. It's fine. It's fine.
Hey, I'm driving. Okay, hold on a
Yes,
second.
yes. And so what did it was like I knew like this was not going to work out was when we pull up to the restaurant, we pull up in front, and I'm undoing this, you know, opening the door for her, and she drops the cigarette. She's like, oh, I dropped a cigarette. You know, if your wife or whoever finds it, you know, just make sure to find it.
Huh?
I was like, my what?
What?
She was like, yeah, you know, later after you fuck me, you know, you can hide the evidence of it.
Oh.
I thought this was dinner.
Yeah, I was like, what site was I on?
Hold on.
Like, hold on, let me read your profile. Like, I'm pretty sure we're dating. Like,
Escorts. That's funny.
I'm like, how much is dinner? No, like, she really was. She was figured I was married or whatever, and that's the reason I was taking her out. I was like, no, like, let's have dinner.
Too nice to be true.
Right,
Like,
right. So now the restaurant's only 100 yards from where I parked.
yeah.
And in that 100-yard talk, I learned that she had been fired from the hospital.
Oh.
She was living with her sister-in-law in a one-bedroom apartment, and that her ex-husband was abusive but still came around from time to time.
Huh.
Like,
Wow.
oh, well, this just gets better.
You mean in between the mental intermissions that she takes,
Yes.
you were able
Yeah.
to get
Oh,
this
yeah.
long drawn out story?
Because remember, I'm almost
Wow.
carrying her because she can't walk straight. That was like a 20-minute walk. That's 100 yards. Like I'm like, what the hell? Yeah. For the record, I am not like bashing girls in Indiana. This is just two of my best stories. Like, and these are also me starting to date. Like I should have known.
That's like 5 red flags we got going here.
Oh yeah. And remember, still didn't know the rule. Like, yeah.
Like the size of the flags they put at dealerships.
Yes. It's
Massive.
straight up the inflatable guy going, go back!
Yeah.
Go back!
Yeah.
Yeah, that's exactly.
Hey, buddy, not a good idea.
Not worth it. Not worth it. So, like I said, it's a Greek restaurant. Thankfully, she speaks a Greek restaurant. I speak Greek. So we walk in, and she's half there, half not, talking to the wall. Yes, literally talking to the wall. And
Wow.
and the matriarch, or the lady who's seating us, the hostess, looks at her, looks at me, and I say Elinika, which means, do you speak Greek? And she's like, no, yeah. So in Greek, I'm like, hey, this chick is nuts, and I want to get her home. I will give you an extra $20 if you rush dinner in 30 minutes. And she was like, for 40, we'll do it. I was like, fine.
Done.
So this is how dinner was. And dinner is, she sits us down, we sit down, we get our wine, and as this girl is taking a drink of wine, we get our appetizers, we get our dinner, and we get our dessert, all by the time she's barely finished half a glass of this wine. And she was like, dinner was so good. Like, she didn't even realize we didn't eat anything. I was like, yeah, it's really good. Can I get a box? We gotta go.
That's
Jeez.
great.
Like, we really gotta go.
That hostess is my hero.
Dude,
hero. No pun intended.
Yes, that's
Sorry.
good. That's good. I did give her a 60 because I was like, thank you.
Yeah.
So,
Tip for your work.
so I'm like, okay, I'm bagging this stuff up. I'm getting her back out to the car, and we get to the car. I put her in the back, the food in the back seat. Get her up into the seat, and she full on like puts her legs around me, and we are making out.
Dang.
Yes, and for the record, it had been a while. So let's just keep that in mind, people. Like, it had been a long time, and it was very cold in Indiana.
It was a parched desert.
Yes. Yeah. So I'm like, okay, I'm not doing this. I'm getting her home, and I drop her off. I get her food, bag of food, and I'm like, hey, it was really nice meeting you. We'll have to hang out sometime. She's like, whatever.
Yeah.
I can half understand her, and as she's walking, I'm realizing like she can't even balance herself with a bag of food.
Oh.
Like, crap. Like, all right. Let me get you up the stairs and get you home.
Oh,
so I
man.
help her upstairs and opens the door, and she is full on into it again.
No.
And oh yes, and I made cardinal mistake number 3. Don't do that when you feel uncomfortable.
Right.
Because that's when I realized when we were done the first time, there were a set of little eyes watching.
Oh,
And I
God.
looked over,
No.
and let's just say the things we
Oh.
did were not okay in some states.
Oh, my.
And I was like,
Shit.
oh, crap. But again, little head thought more over for the big head. And
Right.
Yep.
after we got done the second time, that's when I was like, I've got to go. I was like, yeah, now I'm good.
It's past my bedtime.
Oh, it was like 2 a.m. and I had plans the next day.
Oh, jeez.
Like, I was helping my buddy move to Milwaukee. Like, I had to get home.
Yeah.
And oh my god, I just remember thinking like, what? Like, it's one of those moments when you're driving home and you're like, I didn't even use a condom. Like, what was I thinking?
Oh,
You just gotta
no.
think, you're doing a public service, sexual education for the
God.
youngsters, right?
Yeah, it's just one of those things of terrible choices. Remember, I had made questionable choices, people. Like,
Yeah, we all have.
We can make this whole
Yeah.
channel about my questionable choices.
Been there.
Yeah, see, we've all been there.
Yeah.
But yes, and honestly, she did message me for a while, and it was the same thing where the person that's texting me is not the person I talked to. And that
Right.
weird lapse. And that's, when I learned about the drug addiction, she had gotten hooked on Vicodin,
Oh.
and then it turned into a thing where she started stealing it from work.
Ah.
Yes, and that's why she was blacklisted and got
There we
fired. Yeah, so
That is
substance.
awful.
Yes, so substance abuse on a date is probably not something you want to hang out with.
No.
If somebody's free of it, maybe if you can look past it. I haven't been able to. I'll be the first to admit.
Right.
Like, ever since like that date, anybody's even told me about a substance abuse thing, like it's. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Even the redhead, like even I had my qualms who told me about the cocaine addiction. So
Right.
We should add a rule here, look for track marks.
yeah, look for track marks,
Yeah.
which I found on a date before.
Oh.
Yeah, we'll get to that one sometime.
In another episode.
In another
Stay
episode.
tuned.
When you people have all hated me. Go Indiana!
Oh, God.
Represent.
Represent.
Right. So, maybe don't move to Indiana. No.
Actually, I'd move back to Indiana. I love Indiana.
Indiana's great.
It is.
I visited. It was fun.
It was a fun town. It is fun, and the dating is very different because I'm of darker complexion, as my buddy liked to tell me. I am a speck of cinnamon in a bowl of milk. So,
Ah.
thumbs up.
There you go.
There you go. I'm not totally white.
Okay.
Lucky for you, I am.
That's right.
Me too.
Mixing it in.
All right, Nick, so what you got for us? Tell us about you.
My story
No, about you.
about me.
Yeah, give us a little intro on you.
On me.
Where can we find you?
Where can you find me?
Online.
Online. Okay, so you can find me in quite a few places.
You internet slut.
Yeah. I have a podcast, another one called Shift for Success,
Very, very helpful. I like that one.
and it correlates with another YouTube channel called Shift for Success. I also have a vlog called On the CFAM Ranch. That's pretty entertaining.
Actually, it is. It's
It
very fun to
is.
watch because a lot of it is stuff we do.
Yeah.
Yes. You
Day
feel
in the
our pain.
life kind of stuff. Yeah, for sure. And you can look up both of those names on Instagram also,
Yes.
and Patreon for both of them.
That's right. Support us. Like your help, your even sending your
It-
stories helps us.
Yeah, seriously.
Yeah, if you have any
It helps a
stories,
ton.
like we'd love to hear them. Like even if you want to Skype with us, Zoom call, write it, and we'll read it. You know, as long as it's a true story. Yeah, that's all we ask, and it's not really bashing or super vulgar. Like,
Yeah.
we'll get vulgar. Don't worry, but no. On this
Right.
stuff, we don't need it too bad. Like we don't need intimate details.
Right.
Like- We don't need color specimens kind of thing. We're good. We're good.
yeah, yeah. We don't need lengths,
Yeah.
depths, none of that.
Yeah, shaved, unshaved, we don't care.
Yeah, don't need to know.
Yeah.
But send us your stories.
Send us your stories anyways.
Yeah. Oh gosh.
So what do you got for us today?
All right, so my story. This is about a year after my last story.
Okay.
Okay, so a year after. At this time,
Do you still have the same truck with X marks on it at this point?
That's what I wanted.
I do. Yeah.
Did we- did-
At this point, I do.
Did it still have the X's on there?
I believe so.
Wow, okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
3 new tires. One new tire, 3
One new
used
tire.
ones. Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
A couple X's.
Yeah.
All right.
So, anyways, I worked at this fast food restaurant at the time.
Were you still going to school at the time?
I was.
Okay.
So I was going to school, worked at a fast food restaurant, but I didn't live by myself anymore.
Oh,
I
okay.
had moved into an apartment with my best friend from high school and her other friend from high school.
Turn up.
All right, so we're back.
Should be back.
All right. So did your place smell like ass and feet like mine did? Like I had a roommate who got salmonella. It was so nasty.
Oh gosh. No, it wasn't quite that bad, but we did have a fruit fly problem because every time we finished a beer or a bottle of something, we would put it on top of our cabinets. So our cabinets
so
were
you
like
didn't, you didn't
across
rinse them
the top.
out?
Well, the first couple times we did it,
Oh God!
Yeah.
Is it first couple of 6-packs? Is that what we're talking? Or
like the first bottle or two.
oh my God!
Yeah. And back then, my go-to drink was Fireball.
Oh, so
that's
sugary.
sweet.
Yeah.
Yeah. The drink that you have 2 or 3 drinks and then 50 minutes later it hits you.
No, I have that and it makes me want to throw up. 'cause
Yeah, me
Yeah.
too.
Cinnamon.
It's
Yeah.
disgusting.
Yeah, we what was it? Aftershock.
The Goldschlager and Aftershock.
Aftershock.
That was
Oh,
wow.
gosh.
We're dating ourselves, aren't we?
Oh yeah, we are old. Yeah. Oh, sorry.
You're good.
Apparently not that silent on the phone. So you had a fruit fly plum.
Yeah,
Okay.
but and like my one roommate had his desk in the living room and then a couch.
Right.
So it was like not the best setup. We were like crammed, right? And for some reason I had the smallest room.
Smallest guy.
There was a guy who was shorter but heavier.
Oh, okay.
So I guess I was the
Yeah,
smallest
they
guy.
know, floor support for a little guy.
Right. But anyways, working at the fast food restaurant, you're 19 years old. There's a bunch of girls working in there with you.
Oh, yes.
Right. So she had been dating one of the other guys in there. And he got fired and she broke up with him.
Because
Because he got fired?
No.
All right, jinx, man. That's it.
It was because he cheated on her, which is just weird.
I know. Why would you break up with someone for cheating on you?
Break it with a fast food
Who
girl.
would do that? No, but anyways, they broke up, and it had been like 6 months or so.
Okay.
I worked at this place for like 3 years.
Okay.
And I'd gotten pretty good at my job. I could run all the stations, like cook everything.
Okay. Do you
So,
want to say where it is? Is it like
Freddy's Frozen Custard and Steak
Oh
Burgers.
yes,
right.
that's always a good
Yeah,
one. Yes.
yeah.
All right. All right.
Yeah. And so after I learned all the cooking, I had to get trained on how to be a cashier,
Okay.
right? And she was the one who was training me.
Now, is she around your same age, or how old are we talking?
The same age.
Okay.
Yeah, so we're both around 19.
Okay.
And, well, maybe it was closer to 20 at that time. Yeah, it was 20. We were
Okay.
20.
Okay.
I'm trying to keep up here. I graduated high school and I was 19, so it had
Okay.
to be the year after.
Gotcha.
All right, 20.
Okay, okay.
So she was training me and stuff, and she was a very flirty girl in general, just kind of flirted with everybody.
Mhm.
A flirty
Stereotype.
19-year-old. I don't know anyone.
Right.
Well,
Like,
I think I'm married two of those.
Gosh. It's true.
It's
true, you did.
Yeah, I did.
Anyways, like, we started dating, well, I asked her out, and we started dating, started going pretty steady. Then, like, it was going pretty good. Like, I actually built a really strong relationship with her dad.
What's with you and dads and
Yeah, you really
yeah,
did.
like that?
Like-
Is that a lieutenant?
I know. I just,
Okay.
we hit it off.
Yeah, because for the record, you like girlfriends, dads don't like me.
Oh.
Yes, because
They all seem to like me for some reason.
oh, they hate me. But I also ooze that sleazy kind of guy. Yeah, I'm gonna be rough with your baby angel.
Gotcha. Yeah, he was like really into guns and shooting and stuff,
Yeah.
and reloaded his own ammo. So I was like, heck yeah, let's do this.
All right, all right.
So, yeah, we built like a really strong relationship to the point where I would like text her dad on my phone, like not have her be the go-between anymore. Like we're just all
So
kind
were
of
you
close.
dating him or her?
No, I was dating her.
Okay.
But I mean, he was definitely fun to hang out
Hey,
with.
Mr. Roberts, how you doing?
Right.
No, I wasn't looking for her anyway. What are you up to? Just text away.
Right.
What are you up to? Want to hang out?
Hey, you want to go shooting? Let's go shooting.
I'm gonna get some
What are you
dinner
guys
after
doing
work.
for dinner? Can we come over?
You want to watch a movie, just me and you?
Right. I think part of the reasoning is like her family all smoked cigarettes, and
Okay.
I was a smoker,
Did she?
and she was a smoker.
Okay.
But my family was like completely against it, so I like felt accepted.
Oh, okay.
So it was like easy to be around. Like I could go outside and have a cigarette and not.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I can see that at 19. That makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah, because you want to be accepted. I mean, we all kind of want to at that point.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I think we had been dating for a year and a half. Okay. And my parents sat down with us one night. We were over there for dinner, and they were like, "Hey, we're gonna plan a trip to Hawaii. You guys should come." So we book our flights and the trip and everything. It's like sometime during the summer. I think it was July.
Uh-huh.
And so it's all going good, and then we have small arguments that start spinning up.
Okay, now the trip's
Like-
in July. When are these arguments starting?
They're starting like March, April.
Okay, so this is a few months.
Yeah.
Okay.
So we got a few months in there, and it's like stupid arguments. Like she's like, "Hey, who are you texting right now?" Kind of thing. Like, give me your phone. Like, take my phone. Like, for some reason, I end up with all these controlling chicks who like to check your shit all the time.
Okay, so we were
Right,
talking
we're
about
back.
we were talking about the little fights starting months ahead,
Right.
2 months ahead. Okay, you said they started small. Were they escalating?
A little bit, yeah.
All right, but most importantly, how was the relationship with her dad?
Oh, it was solid. It was solid. I
Ain't
mean,
nothing breaking that up.
I kid you not. There was one time we got in a fight and I called him for advice.
Did you really?
Yeah.
You're not making that up.
I am not kidding you. I did. I was like, hey, this is what happened. What should I do?
Yeah, we have daughters. That's never gonna happen with us.
Right. It's like,
Wow.
he was, he was helpful. He was like, oh, well, you guys should try to work it out. Go about it this way. You're like, okay.
Wow. There's no way I'm calling any of my exes dad. Well, maybe one, but
Right.
yeah, still.
Gosh.
Wow.
Yeah. So, somewhere in there, while we were fighting, she decided to get a new job.
Okay.
So she left Freddy's and went to work at Starbucks.
Oh, she's moving up.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Leveling up there.
Barista and all. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
For real. And, along the road, she made a bunch of new friends at a new place to work, right? And one of these new friends' name was Lauren.
Lauren as in a girl?
Yeah, as in a girl who's a friend, Lauren. And,
Ooh, the story might just about to get really good.
yeah, yeah.
So tell us about Lauren. Was she
Well,
tall and beautiful and
I
leggy?
never met Lauren.
But in my head, she's gorgeous.
Or so you think.
No, she's gorgeous. So anyway, so she meets her friend Lauren.
Yeah. And so, her relationship with Lauren builds, and she's like texting Lauren like constantly.
Now, in all seriousness, is this like a friendship relationship, or is it turned into something more?
She says it's a friendship relationship. We're getting to the good part.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah. So she's texting
So Lauren
Lauren.
went to be back to being hot.
Spoiler alert, Lauren's a guy.
So she's texting Lauren constantly. Like, we'll be like going out to dinner, and she'll be on her phone texting Lauren.
See, like in my head, I'm seeing like a hot coffee machine, steamy, like a beautiful blonde, one of those shirts tied in
Like
a knot.
steam lets off in
That's
the air
right.
flows.
She's letting the hair fall around the coffee. Always smells good, like a mocha aroma.
Green apron.
Green
Starbucks
apron,
green.
yes,
Mm.
never
You'd be
stained.
amazed how quickly you get sick of coffee smell.
Yes, that's true. I'll give you that one.
Gosh.
So anyway, so she's constantly texting this Lauren chick.
Yeah. Which, I'm kind of like, okay, whatever, right? And then, we figure out the find my friends thing, or find my iPhone thing, or whatever, and she's like, oh, you should do that, because she's been inquisitive of me lately.
Okay,
Right.
that's never a good sign.
So I was like, fuck it, I got nothing to hide.
Okay.
Let's do it. And so she shared hers too. And then one night we get in a fight. Okay? And gets to the point where she punches a hole in my door in my bedroom. It's one of those hollow.
Were you breaking up with her again? And did she have a knife? Because that seems to be your MO. Like, why are the chicks so violent in your life?
Right.
She didn't have a knife. And we weren't breaking up, we were just fighting.
Okay.
It was like,
Thank God.
Oh, that makes it better. Thank goodness. Like, it's only a
so
regular
much
fight.
better. Right. So,
Domestic violence is only okay if it's a regular fight.
right.
If you ever had a violent girlfriend, you haven't lived.
Yeah,
Please.
right.
Actually, that's true. Oh my God, that's true.
It's so true.
It's like going to war and you don't think you're going to make it out.
Right? Gosh. So, she storms out. She
Okay.
leaves after she punches a hole in my door.
All right.
And at this point, she doesn't have a car, so she's been using my truck.
Okay.
And
Wait, you got in a fight and she took your truck?
no, she didn't take my truck.
Okay.
She got picked up by somebody. One of her friends.
Lauren?
Lauren, supposedly.
Okay.
Okay. And she leaves, and she's gone all night, and all of the next day because she had work. Okay.
Yeah, I know her and Lauren might have been talking, but in my head they were talking.
Yes, with scissors.
With scissors.
Yeah.
Just cutting patterns into,
That's it.
in the cloth. They were sewing and talking.
So I'm like all worked up and stressed out.
Right.
So I'm like checking her location. She's at a freaking park at like 3 a.m.
Okay.
And I'm like, what the hell?
That makes sense.
Yeah, like,
That's where I go at 3 a.m.
yeah, seriously. That's where we go to de-stress.
That's
We
where we
go to
hide the
park.
bodies. That's
Yeah.
usually where we hide the bodies.
Right. So I'm like, what the hell is she doing at this park? And I was like, fuck it, whatever. Sent her multiple text messages, called her, she didn't answer.
Okay.
Any of them. And I was like, okay, whatever, I'm gonna let it go. So I let it go. I get 3 hours of sleep, go to work the next day. Okay.
So you're doing that weird sleep where you're thinking about that person, where they are, and you're not really sleeping.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
You're pretty much staring at the ceiling the entire time.
Yeah.
Even that 3 hours you're technically sleeping.
It's not a real sleep.
It's really not. We've
No.
all been there.
Yeah, it's brutal. So, I go to work the next day. I get off work, and I go pick her up from work.
Okay.
So, while I'm at work that day, she texts me and says, hey, come pick me up from work. We need to talk or whatever, right?
Yeah, not the park, but
Not the park, but from work. And so, I pick her up from work. You know, she sits in the truck and we hash it out. We're like, look, that was just really bad. You know, we really need to work on this. We need to problem solve better. This is not okay. We can't keep doing this. You know, we need to figure it out or it's not going to work, kind of thing.
okay.
And then I start driving home. And on the drive home, I get a call from a guy. And I pick up the phone and I say, hey. And he says, hey, Nick, this is Justin. We used to work together. And I was like, at Freddy's? He was like, yeah. I was like,
Wait, was this the
"Oh."
ex-boyfriend?
Yeah.
Okay.
And I'm like, what's up, dude? And he goes, are you around so-and-so? And I was like, no, not right now. He goes, okay, good. He goes, because I'm Lauren.
Oh.
Oh, that just ruined
Right.
fantasy. Oh,
I-
so now I got some
I-
scuzzy looking guy in that damn shirt. And, oh,
So-
son of.
I put him on speakerphone at this point. She's in the truck with me, even though I said I wasn't around her.
Uh-huh.
I put him on speakerphone and I say, hey, can you say that again? He goes, I'm Lauren. And he goes, and I slept with her last night.
At the
At
park?
a park. He goes, she called me freaking out and we met up. I was just going to talk to her and then we ended up doing it. And I was like, okay, I'm going to let you go. He
Yeah.
goes, okay. And so I hang up and I look at her. I'm like, all right, so we're going to go to my apartment. We're going to get your shit and you're going to go home.
And we're never, ever going to talk until Hawaii.
And by this time, the next day is our trip to Hawaii.
No.
Yeah.
Wow. That's
So she screwed it up the day before the trip.
You went anyway, right?
I went. She didn't.
Oh,
yes.
oh, Nicking for
Yeah.
the win. Respect that.
Much respect.
Opa.
yes. Well done.
Well done. Very well done.
Yeah.
That wow.
Yeah.
So you and her dad were hanging out. So was he like in that steam room with the barista?
She took his
I-
dad
I took
to
the
Hawaii,
dad.
right?
Like,
On the way home,
your family
still.
likes me more than you.
On the way home, I called him and informed him of what was going on and that he needed to come get his daughter because she needed to be out of my apartment. And I never wanted to talk to her again.
Wow.
Yeah. So then I spent the next week in Hawaii drunk as fuck.
With her parents.
No, with my parents. We didn't go with her parents.
okay, okay, gotcha.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. It was great.
See, I always think you're gonna have like these really like, oh, and then she told me I was a jerk and I never called her again. It's like, no, this is full on like knives and
Yeah.
cheating and trips to Hawaii.
Yeah.
Like, wow.
Yup.
Wow.
It was
God.
crazy.
Jesus, dude.
Yeah.
You skinny white boys, I swear. Damn, dude.
Oh man.
Wow. Okay, and for the record, Nick doesn't date anybody ugly, so she was hot. And in my head, Lauren was hot. So it was a very where the boys aren't kind of thing, in my head.
My motto was always 10s or nothing. Literally, my friends would be talking about, oh, I'm gonna date so and so, and they'd be like, she's like an 8, and I'd be like, bro, 10s or nothing. 10s or
Wow.
nothing.
You know where 10s are on the crazy hot scale. Right?
Yeah, you gotta have the
Super
scale.
freaking crazy.
That's right. There's no unicorn.
It's the
It doesn't
unicorn,
exist.
right?
Yeah, maybe if
Yeah,
you're lucky.
because I'll tell you, my
Yeah.
wife is hot, but she'll self-admit she's crazy. But that's why I like her, because you can always have great sex with crazy. Anyway, that's right. So
There's a good balance.
that's why I married her.
Right?
That's right. So, all right, damn, all right. So let's get to my boys' story. I've been dying for this
Yeah,
one.
man, this is going to be fun. I don't know if I can follow up with that.
Yeah.
That was pretty good.
Was there a Hawaiian trip involved?
Right? No, there was not. But there was some destruction of personal property. So.
So we're right along the lines of that. Okay.
This kind of leads into the last episode where Nick here was telling us about his ventures with the hunter's knife and his drawing
Her
X's.
favorite knife.
Right? The crazy ones, right? The red ones. So my ex-girlfriend was just a little bit, we're going to call her a Harley Quinn because she was really big into her. So, that kind of crazy. But
Yeah,
pretty much in line with it. She was a role model.
No offense,
right?
when you idolize that character, are you nuts?
Yes, you are.
Yes, you are.
Yes. Again, good sex.
Yeah.
So you got to balance the good with the bad. But let's just say that relationship ended, which brings me to my dating life. At that point, but her,
Which actually isn't that old. Like, this is
no,
kind of recent.
this was like a year and a half ago. So
it's not that long
It's
ago.
not long ago. But that ended in a tumultuous way. She actually threw my TV remote at me. Well, not in my general direction, right? It kind of hit the wall. So
Was it one of those universal, like, Harman Kardon, like, beautiful bastards? 'Cause I'd be killing somebody. Like,
Tomahawk.
I don't care if you date somebody else. You're fixing this.
Right. No,
It's
it was
$300 an LCD screen.
It was the Vizio stock piece of shit, okay?
All
So
right, well,
I couldn't
okay.
care.
It's all right,
I
it's
don't know.
okay, it's
It could
okay.
die, right?
I don't use
That's
that
fine.
one.
It still worked after she tossed it, right? But the funny thing was I saw 2 imprints of remotes on the wall. I'm like, how the hell did that happen? Did it boomerang back and hit again? But it was beautiful. Like, I want to frame it on my wall. It's like, this is the X. That was crazy.
Memorabilia.
Yeah.
The date from when the date started.
That was so much fun. Well, that was after a fun fight, and we were drunk, so, that should be a rule.
Yeah, which always makes for a good fight.
Don't fight when you're drunk.
Get a little alcohol in there, a few drugs, like,
Right.
it's gonna be great. It's like a WWE match.
Right? Pretty much,
Just play
right?
the John Cena theme.
Let's throw down.
Can't see me. Your dating profile should be like this. Coming in.
Right?
So, the Vizio remote, I can lose that, right? But my 1990 circa alarm clock on my nightstand had to go into the wall by her hand. I'm like, why do you gotta do that? Man, I bought that at a Walmart back in Denver, and it was like precious to me, right? This thing is still kicking. She had to go and push it against the wall, broke the faceplate off. I almost started crying.
Oh,
It's okay.
man.
I got over it, though.
Oh, yeah, we're electronics kind of guys. We feel like, oh, yeah.
So it survived. Everything's good. After that, she went down, puked all over my bathroom. I'm still finding puke stains like here and there. I'm like, how did that one get there? How did that get underneath the sink? What kind of
How is it on the
splashback?
ceiling? Like,
Right.
what are you looking at? Like,
Projectile?
is it like a rifle? Is it throwing your head
Right?
back? Like, what is
I
it?
wasn't even there for it, but I had to clean it up because she was too drunk. So I cleaned it up. And you know what? I painted that bathroom. Looks great now. But
Yeah.
I still find puke stains.
Seriously?
How is this happening?
Clean that towel.
Oh my gosh.
So that led into me getting her out of my house, which was a painful 3 months. Yeah.
3 months?
Okay, listen. I'm a good guy, right? So I was like, single mom. I understand, right? She had a kid. I'm like, if we ever break up,
yeah.
I promise you that whatever it takes, to get back on your feet, you can live with me until you get back on your feet. Enough to move out, right?
Yeah.
And she eventually did, but that was just
Yeah,
that was
that's-
just a long time.
Yeah, you guys
3 months.
are nice. Like, you'll like break it with someone face to face. You'll
Yeah.
give them time. I'm like, no, get the fuck
Okay,
out,
right.
and I'm doing it over text.
Yeah. Blocked.
Email. New Yahoo account. Can't follow me.
Great idea. Should have done that. Totally in retrospect.
And these guys are men. I'm a pussy. I don't care.
Oh yeah. So I finally got her out, right, and then I'm like, it's time to fucking date. Yeah, let's load up the profiles. I think
you did remember what it's like dating when you sit there, right?
Right.
Oh, it's time to date.
Yeah, let's just line them up again. Let's go with the crazies first, huh? So yeah, so I dated a nurse, right? We're gonna call her Nurse A,
Okay.
lovingly, and in retrospect, she was probably good for me. complete opposite of the ex. Calm, wonderful date.
How soon are we talking after this we meet nurse?
Oh, maybe it was like a few days after she moved
A
out.
few
I was like,
days?
I was already talking to her while my ex was living with me. So
Oh, man.
that's
remember
tough to
they
do.
broke up and then had that 3 month of trying to get her out.
Right, but
Yes,
but still, like that is really.
That it was, but that 3 months I was trying to line up my dates for when she moved out of the house, because I'm ready. I'm ready to go. So,
All right.
yeah.
Dating rule number 3: don't keep the ex there for 3 months. But
Brought to you by Greg.
back to my Greg.
Yeah, so I finally went on a date with this girl. The first date was great, and we went out, and no psycho stories on this one. And
Yeah,
you said she was good for
pretty.
you.
Yeah, she was good for me, but I'm stupid, so I'm just gonna ditch that one because I don't know why. I was thinking not clear, so I was
Right.
just out of a really bad relationship, so it was kind of a rebound, right?
Right.
So I moved on. Fast forward to a year after that.
And you've been dating since then for that year.
Yes, right.
Okay.
And honestly, I'm on all the dating apps, so
Yeah.
look me up.
He's single, ladies. Charlotte.
Right. It's a quality catch here.
He
so,
is. He's way better than I.
Yeah, you can't swipe left or right without hitting on a nurse.
You don't need to boil him in water before you sleep with him. You're good. I'm the one you need to boil in bleach. So.
So you can't. I'm from the East Coast, and there's just nurses everywhere. You can't not date a nurse. It's like either CNA or RNA. Take your pick. So
Really?
yeah. So I'm like, well, I guess I'm going to date a nurse again. So
We like
got a
nurses,
good
especially
thing
when we go to the hospital. We really like nurses.
we really love you. We
Yes.
really do. But this nurse that I dated after my bad breakup was literally like a few minutes from my house. It worked at a hospital a few minutes from my house. So I was
Okay.
like, okay, cool. Forgot about her. Year later, get on Tinder, start swiping. Of course, nurses come up in the profile because why not?
Well,
So-
that's a proximity. Yeah, if you don't know, Tinder has a proximity and you set if it's 5-6 miles. You're
Right.
saying the hospital's within 5-6 miles, so no doctors apparently.
Yeah.
But lots of nurses.
Right? I mean, can I date a surgeon? No, just nurses.
Dang.
Whatever.
I don't know. My fear is you date a surgeon, you end up like some human centipede thing. That's always what I'm thinking.
You
Like,
can sew your dick on your head, the next morning
Exactly.
you're like,
I promise I didn't cheat.
yeah, right?
How'd that get
Yeah,
there?
that nurse is looking pretty good right now.
Right?
How's
Will you
it
marry
still
me?
functional?
Yeah. I don't have fingers.
Right?
Gosh.
Oh, so I got on Tinder and I was actually out of Tinder prospects, so I went to my previously matched ones.
Okay.
So that you have the list at the top that you never talked to because frankly those are your Plan Bs, right? So I hit up the Plan B nurse,
B, C, D,
That-
So
Yeah.
call her Nurse B.
Nurse B, lovingly. So I talked with her and it was great. We texted. I have good text game. I don't have real life game, but I'm good with the texting. I'm good with that.
I feel you on that.
You?
Yeah.
It's much easier. I can formulate my thoughts.
we have a story. I'm going to tell the story after this about how bad his game is.
Yes,
Oh,
yes.
yeah.
Oh, it's a good story.
It's,
right? I
no,
know
he
exactly
knows
you're
what
talking
you know
about.
this is. Okay.
Yikes. Okay. And I was texting her. Everything was going great. I decided to meet her at a bar. Now, keep in mind, she lived 2 hours away from my location, right, on the East Coast. So I was like, so you just come here to work? And she's like, yeah, I come here to work at a hospital. And I'm like, oh, good. That's interesting. So,
Wait, is that really how you talk on a date?
right?
That's interesting.
That's great. I'm so happy that you're a nurse.
There's this great dating tip called the parroting effect. When somebody says something, you take the last few words of what they say and add a question at the end of
Oh
it.
my god.
That's what you call real life game right there.
No. I just talk to them to get to know them. Like, that's how I get to know somebody. Like, hey, like, I'm just interviewing you as a person.
Right.
Are you going to murder me? Are you going to show
What's
up
your
in my...
favorite color?
Yeah, are you going to break into my house?
Oh my god.
Yes.
Yeah, that's happened. We'll get to that one sometime.
Yeah.
So anyway.
So I talked to her and I found out about her. 4 kids, that was kind of I'm not sure about this kind of deal. I can't do 4 more kids on top of my own. That's just a lot of kids to watch over. So anyway,
yeah,
you got to take the good with the bad, right?
Right.
So, and she seemed okay, but we should put this rule or tip: no body shots on Tinder means swipe left. Because yeah, when I got to the bar and she met me, it was like Roseanne Barr mixed with I don't know what. But it was not good. She had more thinning hair than I did, and I'm, in my 40s, so you can imagine how much hair is up there.
Or?
Yeah, no, she wasn't filtering. It was just frontal shots, and I didn't see the bald spot in the back. So, but hey, she had dyed her hair purple, so that helps.
God.
That really helps. And yeah, so it went okay, but I did not have a greatest amount of time with her, and she wasn't that attractive. So
You weren't attracted to her. I mean,
Yeah, that's it.
Hey, there's someone for everybody. So just because
Right.
you got a bit of a
that's it.
Buddha belly.
And I'm not saying I'm the most fit guy, right? I'm in my 40s, so I got a couple 100 pounds to lose. So
Yes, we don't care about body type. Like some of us do
That's
want
right.
to date somebody
that's
specific.
right. That's
Right.
right.
So
I'm
we, just
not
want,
that
we are not women bashing. Like in
That's
fact,
it.
next week
No.
we're gonna bring my wife on here to talk crap about me and men. Because trust me, guys are way worse than girls. But anyway,
That's
go ahead.
right. That's right.
That's
I
true.
mean, yeah, I don't have much hair as I like up top, so I'm not the greatest.
He's still a
sketchy.
good-looking guy. Don't let him fool
Thanks.
you.
Oh, thanks so much.
So anyway, so what ended up happening?
So what ended up happening was a nice firm hug, and that was it.
And you were pretty
For that.
clear with her.
Yeah,
You're
I
like,
was pretty
hey,
clear
it's
with
not
her.
gonna happen.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Well,
If it was me, I probably would have slept with her. I'm not gonna sugarcoat
Yeah.
that. At that when I was single, I was terrible.
Well, considering his last nurse went that way, we
Yeah,
would
well,
assume.
yeah, it's funny that you mentioned Nurse A, because when I was talking to Nurse B on our date, she had happened to mention that, oh, there was this Hungarian guy that I dated at this and she worked at this hospital. Wow, wouldn't you go figure that Nurse A and Nurse B talked together at the same fucking hospital?
Oh, man.
Crap.
So Nurse A was like, how do you like my leftovers?
No.
Oh,
So-
man.
There you go.
Wow. See, women are mean too.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right.
Wow.
Certainly are.
Wow.
So out of all the people, out of all the nurses in a hospital, the two of them, wouldn't you know, talked about it. And somehow they talked about me.
Oh,
wow.
man.
That's horrible.
That's brutal.
It kind of makes you want to be hit by that remote at some point.
Right, exactly. And then be taken to the hospital. No.
No,
let's
you're
rethink
good.
that.
You're good.
I'm good, yeah. No injuries.
Wow.
Dang.
All right. Wow, that was good.
Yeah.
That was really good.
That was
I
fun.
like that.
That
That was
was-
impressive. Yes.
that was-
Body shots are important, even for men.
That's right.
Because the truth
Yeah.
is, there are women who like dad bodies. And the truth is, like,
True.
you actually have a full-on profile with your full body, gut and all. There are women out there that love that. Yeah. We'll get there. Oh, but let me tell you the story about my boy Eula and his lack of game.
All right.
He is a very attractive, tall guy. Like, you can't tell right now, but this dude is like 6'3", 6'4", and he wears his suit well. And I drug him out to Vegas with me. one
Vegas,
year.
baby.
There you
Vegas. And he, like, this is how much attention he can get by just sitting there looking good, is that these two English girls, in a crowd full of guys, mind you, came up to approach us, mainly him, and somebody crumbled the moment they started talking to him.
Hey, I wasn't drunk enough,
Like,
okay?
Like, this is at the point where I'm having to, like, get into their line of sight, like, yeah, my name's Jim.
Right?
We just got here too.
That's okay, because the best part was,
The best part is that my boy here, he wanted to react with, can I practice my English accent on you?
and that goes over really well with British
English
girls.
girls, yeah, because they're like,
They
oh,
love,
yeah.
they love to hear their own
Yeah,
accents.
he kind of forgot that English girls like American accents.
Right.
And I remember even going, don't do it, don't do it.
Yep, you did. You won.
He did it. So after we never saw them again,
They somehow disappeared into
he
the
disappeared.
dance floor.
And we were in a bus together, so somehow they avoided us and the entire bus.
Those bloody Americans.
Right?
Yeah.
Crikey. Wait,
Well,
that's
he was so-
Australia.
he
was so hot and then he opened his mouth. I mean, really?
It's absolutely absurd.
I can't believe
It's
it.
absurd.
I can't believe it.
I can't believe it.
I can't believe they didn't want to go out with me.
I can't believe you've done that.
Oh, this was a good one. This was a little bit longer,
That
but
was solid.
that was a solid one. How do we want to end it? I guess it's that time, huh?
Yeah, for
Uh,
sure.
Yes, thank you. Thank you for Thank you for listening.
Yes.
You can find my boy here on Tinder and POF.
And okay, Cupid.
Okay, Cupid.
And Coffee Meets Bagel.
Coffee.
And Bumble. And there's just so many I can't even.
He's really
keep
not
track
that
anymore.
desperate. Like, he really sounds bad, but that's what you
It's
have
a
to do.
numbers game, okay? Damn it.
It really is.
Shoot a shot,
True.
you're gonna nail something, right?
You gotta find the fish in the sea.
That's right.
But I guess don't forget to make questionable choices. And
Yeah,
thank you for
always.
listening. Yeah, always make questionable choices and come to dating.
Make sure you guys don't forget to send us your stories.
That's right.
To
We
the
wanna hear it.
email we have linked below.
Or if you're in the Arizona area, let us know, and we'd love to have you on.
Hit us up.
Yep. Yeah,
For sure.
And we promise we're not women bashing. This is just all we have so far.
This is
Promise
our
ne-
content.
Yeah, next week we're gonna drag our wives on.
So far, we're all dudes
Yeah,
talking
it's all
about
dudes.
dating.
We promise it's not just about girls. We promise.
Yeah, we'll get there.
So thanks again.
Yep.
And,
if you like this, make sure you like it below.
Subscribe and like.
Yep. And subscribe.
All right. Good night.
We'll see you guys in the next one.